Hey guys, welcome back to Our Wyoming Life. My name is Mike. Over there is Jeff, and he's strapping down that ridiculous vibrating machine that has my back teeth still moving. Good morning, Jeff. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm going to take these guys around, show them a little bit of what we're doing, and we're going to talk about what we're doing today, which is a lot. A lot. Alrighty, so the Multi-Quip vibratory roller has been our best friend the last couple days as we've been working over here in our RV parking area, which is just behind me, and what's going to be our new feedlot or finishing school, whatever you want to call it. The feedlot itself is actually really small, and the reason is because, well, we're not that big, and we don't need that much space for these guys. Most of the time, the cows or the steers that will become, well, the steers that'll be going to freezer camp, they're going to live on pasture for most of their life. But the last 60 to 90 days of their life, we bring them into an enclosed area where they can hang out and basically eat, get themselves fat, build a little bit of fat onto their bones, which adds that marbling to the meat, the flavor, the texture that everybody's used to. To be able to do that, we have to have them in an enclosed area. So this area here will actually become the new feedlot or finishing school. We've been knocking it down over the last couple days and making sure that it's about as smooth as we can get it. Now there is a little bit of a slope to it for drainage, plus we can clean it out probably pretty regularly. I wanted to get in here with the vibratory machine though, and the roller to pack it down as much as we could. The cows and the steers are going to pack it down also, but I wanted this stuff to be packed down as much as we could, so when we do come in and clean it out, it's that much easier to clean. The RV parking, which we're doing over here, has went through a few changes over the last, couple months. Originally we started out, we were going to do 5 spaces in here. We've actually cut that back to 4. That allows a little bit more room, some walking area down on the end. We'll get into all that. Our 5th space we didn't lose, of course. It's over here on this side, and we'll be kind of a little bit out of the RV parking area, but might work out good for older folks that need to be closer to the farm store or don't want to walk as much. So this is the new RV area. We're going to be doing some work over here today. We're going to be setting our pedestals where the power is located for our guests that stay here in the RV parking area. We are going to be trenching for our electrical, which should be coming within the next couple days. We're also going to be working on the feedlot area, the finishing school. We're going to be working on this also. We're going to be setting up an Arrowquip weighing and loading out area. Now, we may not be able to get the weigh area done today, but we are going to get this all set up so that it's ready to go. So we're done with the vibratory roller. We're going to take that back to town, drop that off. We're going to grab a trencher and get that out here and ready to go. And then of course the Arrowquip stuff down here that we have to get set up today. So it's going to be a busy day here on the ranch, but all this is in preparation for the arrival tonight of Keith and Van from Beckart Fencing. Keith has been here on the ranch. It'll be Van's first time here on the ranch, but they're going to be putting in some really cool fencing for us. It's all about keeping deer out of Erin's garden, which we're going to go down and take a look at, because the RV park actually took a huge chunk, well, took one of her whole gardens, about 10,000 square feet of garden space. So we had to relocate that for her. So we're going to do some fencing down there. And we're also going to do fencing in the feedlot and fencing around the RV park to keep everybody safe there as well. So Jeff and I are going to run to town. We're going to grab our trencher, and we should be back in just a little bit, and we'll get to work. Isn't editing amazing? So, through the magic of movie making, the trencher has now arrived. Jeff's out there running it. But let me show you what we're doing here really quick before I give him a little bit of a break and take off running it ourselves. Jeff is trenching in 2-foot trench. That's going to be for power. So all of our parking spots here each have 50 amp service. So we have these posts set. On that post is going to go the box and a breaker to be able to turn that box on and off. So he's going to trench from that gray box back there on that building all the way up here to the boxes themselves. Then we have to trench in the other side of it, which takes it to the power line, the power pole. So we'll check that out here in just a second. Okay, we're cruising right along here. Jeff has taken over trenching again. We've got almost 3 of the 4 lines done. Once the 4th one's done, then like I said, we need to go back to the power pole. We're gonna switch gears a little bit and swing over here to the feedlot, and this is the nice thing about having 2 people out here, and thank you, Jeff, for allowing us to get more done in one day. We are gonna pull lines off of this shed going down about 150 feet that way. What our goal here is to square everything up so that when it comes time to put in the Arrowquip a little bit later on this afternoon, and even fencing, it'll make a whole lot easier. So we're gonna use some twine here, and we're gonna square up to the building. And the quickest and easiest way to do that is to start at the back of the building, come along the side, using that as a guide, and going straight out. We'll see what we end up with. And as long as our line is just barely touching the side of the building, I know that I'm pretty square. So there we go. We can kind of eyeball it, obviously, but I think using the string, making sure that we're dead on, is a whole lot better. And when I say dead on, it's a loose term. It gets looser as the day goes on. Okay, now we go do the same thing on the other side. And if I did this correctly, we should have about 40 feet in between the 2 strings. course, there's only one way to know that, and that's to measure it. Inside the gator, got my measuring wheel. And because this is not rocket surgery, it doesn't have to be perfect. I have a feeling perfect will get here about the same time that Keith gets here. He's a little bit of a perfectionist. For me, I'm just happy with 4 walls. Or fences. "39 feet 10 inches. It's close enough. All right, so now we're going to measure off the building, back 150 feet, put another post in or another stake, and that'll give us our end point. And there we go. We've got our corners, across, and down. One big rectangle. So, Jeff is still finishing up trenching. He's almost done. I'm going to show you the part that he's working on now. He's actually done with what needs done in the RV parking area. Now he's heading towards the power pole and a new service that we had put in just, well, kind of just for this project, maybe something further down the line, we don't know yet. But Jeff is now trenching his way back towards the power pole. Now heading that way, I think. Twine?
Yeah.
Wonderful thing about a ranch, you can always find twine.
Yeah.
You're almost out of the thicket though.
Yeah.
Get through this area and you're good.
That nearly caught around it.
Oh.
That's what I was hitting out in here.
That's nice. Look at that. You don't want to hit that with anything, really. A trencher bad, pretty much anything bad.
Oh, it's wrapped around good. Oh.
You having fun?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure you are. You're almost there.
Almost to the next turn.
On the brighter side of things, I got that all squared up.
Oh, good.
So once you're done here, we'll be ready to go start building Arrowquip stuff.
Cool.
Is our next step. There's probably some places where I need to clean out the trench, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll start working on that. Becoming the trenching master. The bad thing about trenching is once you get used to it, that's usually when the job is over. So he'll learn again next time. I know I always do. Anyway, next step for us, once Jeff wraps that up, is to get started in the finishing school. I like that term. We get started laying out our Arrowquip and getting it into place. To get us started, we're going to work from the back to the front. So the first thing we have to put in is our tub, and yeah, that's where we'll get started. Okay, there's the first part of this whole contraption. Jeff, here are our plans.
Okay.
On a side note, what do you think of trenching?
Nah, I can live or take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it. I think I mentioned that once you figure it out, you're done.
Yeah. Yeah.
So next year, start all over.
I got to that power pole and then I had it down. I could go around a curve. I could do anything.
And we're done.
I screwed up on the rest of it.
That's all good. All right. What do you say we start taking this apart? Have something like you?
Tomato or something on that one side.
There we go. Okay. Now, bolts go through. Okay, we're getting there. We've got our 8-foot crowd tub or tub set up. Next up, Jeff is running to grab an alley that's going to sit there. Then we have a chute. Then we have a sorting alley, loading chute right in front of that. So 3 components here, a few gates to set up, and then we'll be all ready for Beckart, Keith, and Van, and ready to go to work tomorrow morning. And hopefully we'll be able to film, and I don't see why we wouldn't, but you never know. We'll film what we're doing with them. We'll show you the new types of fences and all that kind of stuff. So Jeff is over there grabbing our components that we need, moving some stuff out of the way, I guess, so he can grab what he needs. And yeah, it's all coming together. So while I'm waiting for Jeff to get here, I am going to put on a couple of these ears on this side. This will allow us to put our next gate on. And that's going to insert here by our tub. But Jeff beat me to it. He's here with the chute already. Although technically, I guess it's an alley, but he's gonna put it in place. You're backwards. But he's backwards. So we're gonna flip it around really quick, and then he can put it in. Okay, that one's now in place. Jeff is gonna go grab the chute. That's what's next. there. The last component of the loading chute is a sorter that's going to help us when we bring in a steer and we weigh it, let's say, and it's not up to weight, or we're just weighing them to see how much they weigh, we can kick it back into the corral. So this next component is going to help us do that. It's like a 4-way sorter, but the main way that they can go is into the truck when they're time to go to freezer camp, or we can kick them back in the corrals and let them stay a little bit longer. Another portion that we have on the way for our chute right here are more scales. We're going to end up having to take this out, pour more concrete, and get our new scales on. Unfortunately, we didn't have time to do that before Beckart got here, so we're just getting this set up for them so that we know where everything's at when we start putting the fences for the feedlot. There we go. We're all ready for Beckart Fencing to head on in here and work their magic in changing these Franken corrals into what can only be deemed as a worthy finishing school for our boys.
Indeed.
Did you have a good day?
I did.
We got a lot done today.
Accomplishment feels good.
Yeah, it definitely does. If you know what, you watch the video, you can feel good too. You got a chance to accomplish something. Keith and Van will be here starting tomorrow, and we'll bring you guys along as we do some different type of fencing here on the ranch. We're going to try feedlot fencing with woven panels rather than like panels, like these kind of panels, with just woven wire, I guess I should say, not woven panels. We have Erin's garden, which we didn't even get a chance to go look at today.
No.
But we are going to be doing a special kind of deer fencing. Now, we've done 8-foot deer fencing in the past. This is a whole different school of deer fencing, and I'm anxious to see if I'm going to go find a deer and be like, does this work? Because somebody needs to tell me. And then, of course, the RV park. Jeff and I are going to be fencing that as well. Keith kind of said we're on our own on that one, so should be a lot of fun there. So we hope you guys can stick around, follow along as we explore the ranch life, escape the ordinary. It says it right there somewhere. There it does. And nice puff up there. It's like, oh, that's too much work. Please subscribe and join us as we continue with this project and many, many more as this summer progresses. Jeff is here for the long haul, or at least until he passes out, one or the other. And it was a rough day.
It was a lot of work.
I'll give it that. So, guys, we will see you next time. Until then, have a great week, and thanks for joining us on Our Wyoming Life. What does that look for? Are we done?